Why are injured American workers slipping through the cracks of justice? When did we, as a society, decide that their well-being isn't our collective responsibility? The answers to these questions may be more complex than you think. Picture this. It's the early 20th century. Labor unions are on the rise, fighting for better working conditions, fair pay, and the right to collective bargaining. But even then, injured workers face an uphill battle. They're trapped in a system that seems designed to suppress their rights rather than protect them. Fast forward to the 1970s. Federal laws have been enacted, promising to safeguard the rights of injured workers. Yet, state lawmakers and union leaders seem to be dragging their feet. They give excuses, saying that implementing these federal standards is too complex or too costly. But isn't the cost of human suffering far greater? Let's turn the dial to today. You'd think that by now things would have changed, but they haven't. Injured workers are still struggling for recognition, still fighting for their rights. Why? Because their plight is still being ignored by those in power. Consider the case of Darren Fonzseau, a worker who called into UCOMM Union labor radio. His plea for help was met with a dismissive attitude from the host. His struggle, like that of many others, was swept under the rug. It's a chilling reminder of how the system continues to fail these workers. And then, there are state lawmakers like Reverend Bob Hasegawa. They claim to be in support of workers' rights, but their actions tell a different story. They continue to avoid implementing federal standards, leaving injured workers to fend for themselves. So, we're left with a question that demands an answer. Who is lying? Is it state lawmakers like Representative Hasegawa who claim to champion workers' rights but fail to take action? Or is it the federal government promising to protect injured workers, yet allowing their rights to be trampled on? The hypocrisy is glaring. The lack of accountability is appalling. It's time we demand better for our injured workers. They deserve more than empty promises and dismissive attitudes. They deserve justice.
And, okay. Nah, Darren's on the phone. Darren, what, buddy? We got an important guest. What do you need, buddy?
He's here right now.
You know why we've gone through Labor Day weekend and nobody said about it one word about a war on injured workers or a needed Fed issue, as we allow the AFT and Reverend Barber to scream louder for Med for All plan that Section 801 leaves our injured workers behind. And I want to know why we are failing the injured workers of America. Chris LaGrange.
Now what, Darren, Darren, don't you think that we don't say the word injured workers because you do too much? That what they mean is funding OSHA, which Biden has talked about, as has anybody running for federal government, as well as what, Brian? Also, the COVID gag order. We're talking about that.
Well, and I think
also Brian, and also Darren. You know, the corporations don't want to be liable if someone gets sick from COVID, and the union community is behind it.
Yeah, and they're fighting for a federal oversight and a federal regulations for OSHA in regards to COVID, so that everybody's safe.
But Darren, are you talking right now about the people who are hurt right now?
No, I'm talking about the ones that get hurt in the future.
Okay, so are we? So
I'm talking about federal oversight that Senator Sanders told us we needed, and that we've also been told by United States Congress that we need, and the Research Service, Federal Congressional Research Service. We need this federal oversight. We were told we need this federal oversight, but the Jason Call for Congress, who's running for Congress, won't put my issue on the table because he's busy pushing single payer and Medicare for all instead of my Fed issue.
All right, listen, write it up and we'll blog it and we'll target him.
I've written it to you already several times and you keep failing to push my issue. I have lawyers behind me saying, Darren, you're correct.
All right.
And so I am being failed, and so is the union is failing us, Chris. Please step up and speak up. Look up my issue and talk about
I'll assure you I'll take a look at it and we'll get it out soon. How's that, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, brother.
Sir.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
All right, bye-bye.
Be safe.
You too. Is that his picture in the cowboy hat?
Yes.
He is scary. He sounds scarier than he really looks.
I agree.
Okay. Thanks, James, for having me getting screamed at by my number one fan.
It's your dream.
Anyway.
Where were we?
So we were talking about we got to get Will on. So what happened was Trump somehow became.
Welcome back. Tom Hartman here with you, and it's Anything Goes Friday. Darren in Everett, Washington, watching us on Facebook Live. Hey, Darren, what's up?
Hey, I want
want to talk about a war on injured workers and how it's adding to homelessness and inequality here in America. That back in 2015, OSHA and Senator Sanders and NPR all told us, and the U.S. Department of Labor with Tom Perez all come out and told us we need some minimum federal standards over these broken state work comp systems. Yet 3 years later, the left is silent, and I'm begging for help here as an injured worker in the state of Washington who has been abused and harmed. Yet I have our revolution not wanting to put this issue and Senator Sanders' solutions on the table. And I would like to know why the left basically is failing us at this time.
I don't know the answer to your question, Darren, and I'm sorry to hear about your circumstances. I hope you get through it. I'm sorry, I don't know. Paul in Sparta, Wisconsin. Hey, Paul, what's on your mind today?
Thanks for